What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hope you liked the last video. As you can see at the beginning of the video, I did get the HPI RS4 car running, and it is modified. But before we get into that, I do want to do an unboxing. Well, I mean, the car's used, but still, it's an unboxing. It's a fairly new car. I did get another RC car. Reason I wanted that car, because it came with a starter box for this car. Come to find out, the starter box was different. But either way, I still got a great deal on the car. It's a rare car. I don't think they make them anymore, but we'll see. But it's a really good car. I'll show you guys, you know. More cars to my addiction, getting into that. And really quick, so we did end up going to a drag race event that was local, and I'm hooked. So I've been joining all the forums and everything like that. You guys are going to see some content on that. And then when the time comes, you know, I end up buying another car, an actual big car that we can modify. I'll keep you up to date with that. But as of right now, let's do this unboxing, and I'll show you the new car that I got. Alright, check out this fancy bag this thing came in. And yeah, it's an OFNA car, 1/10 scale car. And they came in a really nice bag. I mean, I guess you can carry your car in this and just bring everything with you. Is pretty fancy. I like it. I remember, I mean, when you buy an RC car now, when you go to the store, they're just in a box wrapped up. But this time, they came like this. I'm not sure how much this costs brand new. I think I looked it up, maybe $400 to $500. I mean, look at the way they really packed up their cars and how you buy it. Unless you bought this, the guy I bought it from bought it separate. But it doesn't seem like it. I mean, it looks really good. So pretty big bag, OFNA Racing, and I was like, yeah, and I got a really good deal on this. So let's do this, bring it down, and then we see 2 boxes. So let me set this up really quick. First box, this one here. This one's kind of heavy. And then the second box. So, they're both kind of heavy. Let's open up this one first. So in the first box, when I got the car, he showed me all this stuff. I was like, oh wow, man, they really did pack it up. So you can see here is the starter box. And basically the way this works, you put the car on here, put the glow plug on top, or the igniter, and then you push down, put some power to this. You can either use batteries or a battery box, so it's pretty cool. And then it will, this wheel right here will turn the flywheel on, or spin the flywheel, and then it'll help you out, turn the car on. It's really good. You can tune the car and do all kinds of stuff on here. My engine on the HPI doesn't sit this way. It sits, I believe, this way. So the flywheel is turning this way. So I can put the car sideways and do it, but I will end up getting another box for that car, and then this one will have this one. So should be able to do any other type of car. So there's that. There's a battery box for that. And did come with a remote. I guess OFNA makes their own remote. It's a 2-channel. He did end up putting batteries in there for me. It'll still using those crystals, a couple trims, and a couple really basic remote. It does pretty good. So a couple stickers, OFNA Racing stickers, some papers, some extra parts, I guess, suspension parts. Oh, it looks like more, yeah, suspension parts for the shocks and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then this is for the body posts, I guess. Extra one. So not sure if it came with this car or not, but those were extra. Empty glow plug, more screws, and let's see what else we got in here. That's about it. Yeah, I think that's just a couple more screws that you can see there. And I guess that's for the rear. So there's that box. And then the other one, try to do it with, this is where the car's at. So, oh, I guess it's this way. Bam! Check that out. When I saw that, I was like, what? And for the price, I couldn't beat it for this. So this is OFNA 1/10 scale Nitro LD3. It's basically a touring car. The paint scheme is on it. It's really nice. I don't think he did it. Just comes like that. So Let me take the body off of here. There it is. Let me do this. Bam. All right, there it is. This thing is pretty legit. I mean, the way they built these cars is really good. I think there were more... I mean, HPI was there. HPI made a couple RS4 cars. They made a version 1. Then there was a version 2. And then they made a race version out of the same belt-driven. Was a R40 that had really crazy suspension arms. Came with, I think, maybe a 2-speed. It was just a chassis. Wasn't ready to run. Carbon fiber brace. A couple of little things I can't remember. And then coilover sockets. This car looks like it comes with it in general. You know, it's got some slick wheels on it, or tires on it, adjustable coilovers that you can see right there. Some really heavy-duty suspension arms. This is a dry shaft driven one. When I say that, of course, the RS4 is belt driven. This one is it's got drive shafts front and rear. It's all-wheel drive car. I believe it's a 15. Let me get a light in there. Oh, it's a 12. Yeah, it's a 12. 12 engine, looks good, but look at it. It's like brand new. Nice pipe on it. Nice header. It looks really good. Really nicely made. Again, I couldn't beat it. So, you know, me, my dad, or my brothers, now we all have a car. And then, you know, it'll be pretty fun to all of us drive it. And, you know, so I'll take a video of this when I turn it on, and we'll drive it. And it looks like it's missing a fuel filter. I got to clean the tank just in case. Put a fuel filter on it. I have one. But yeah, I mean, it's like a brand new car. Check that out. Pretty good. So really like it. Don't know too much about him. Chassis looks okay. I think he said he drove it a couple times. You can see right here. It's a little rough right there, but you know, these things are low, so can't expect it. And then you got to find a really perfect parking lot, clean it out. But maybe there's a small block class out there. They do. I talked to a couple guys when they do these events. There is a small block class that they run, and there's small blocks, so there's got to be at least four. And then after that, there's some big block. A lot of it's electric cars, but we'll get into that next. I do have some other stuff that I'm working on that I ended up getting, but that's another video. I'll do that. But I wanted to show you guys this car, how cool it is, and you know, I only got it for $100. You can't beat it. So really good deal. I'm sure this is worth a lot more than that when they first came out. I think OFNA's not in business, or maybe they are. I'm not sure. There is one company out there that sells parts for this. If you guys want to let me know what company it is out there. I totally forgot. I found it, and now I can't find the site. But of course, you know, if things break, I think this is a little bit more rare than a HPI car, or maybe I'm just not really looking to it. But sometimes things do crash or break, and you're going to need extra parts. But I'm just going to keep it. I'm not going to modify. I'll leave the 2-speed. Super simple car. It looks like everything works. You know, I'll just upgrade and keep maintenance up on it until we do. So enough with this car. Now I'm going to show you the HPI. All right, here she is. This thing looks like a beast. So everything is put on the car. I've been going at it like crazy. I still got to find a spot for the antenna, but here she is. Hope you guys like it. She is almost there, ready to hit the track, or whatever you guys want to call it, the streets. But she is modified. So I will start off with what I do. So of course you saw in the last video, this thing was completely stock. So what I did was, of course, I modified the chassis a little bit. So, and I did turn it on, so if you guys can see in a bit. So I cut, there was a piece right here that I cut. I don't know if you can see it, but I cut that because if gears do strip, you need to change them. It'd be a lot easier just to slide them out. Take this belt tensioner off, slide out the gear, and then that'll be easy for that because it does happen. Also, another thing that I did do was I powder coated the chassis. I stripped it, drilled 2 holes, drilled a couple holes, 1, 2, 3, 4 holes there. As you can see, I was trying to use the, it was nice, but once I tried to use that that starter box, it was just rubbing against. It'll come right off, but powder coated the chassis really light just to protect it. It was purple. It was all scratched up. I cleaned it up, and I cleaned that up. I drilled some holes, and then as you can see, and I'll get to that really quick. I'm gonna let you know about the engine. So I did that. First thing I wanted to do, change the color a little bit, so now it's yellow. So as you guys know, I do some powder coating, and I wanted to get that going. So let me take a look here. So from there, the car did come with the foam bumper, disc tensioner, and the 2-speed. So did come with the CVDs, I think that's what it's called. I also put a front one-way. That's done. That's done on the car. Let me get some light in here. So there you go. So yep, I did a front one-way on here. So all the grip is in the front. Adjustable coilovers, which they did not come with any fluid. And I put the springs from the other shocks. I put them on here with some new fluid that I bought from the hobby shop. And let me see, carbon fiber upper deck. There's a receiver from the radio. And what else? So I had to buy those aluminum servo mounts for there, because when you do the carbon fiber deck, the old deck, I think you would bolt on the servo to the deck. Well, didn't have it, so I put those on there. So there's that. New battery pack is in there. I'm still waiting for my battery meter, so that should be coming in. What else? Fuel filter. These foam tires, contact foam tires. I think these are 30 millimeter up front and maybe like 35 in the back. A little bit wider, as you can see. Bam. Bam. Adjustable arms in the rear. The fronts, I actually don't mind using these. Now that I have extra from this one, I have backups, and these are just completely even. I'm only going straight, so it doesn't really need to go around circles right now. If I do, then I'll buy some adjustable ones, but it's not really necessary at this time. Again, upgrade the disc because this engine's pretty strong, so it needs some stopping power with a steel or aluminum pulley in the inside. If I can find a tensioner for the rear belt, I will, because I know that's where a lot of the power is going to go first, and it could strip that belt pretty quick. But I did get extra one just in case. Besides that, I think it's pretty well done. It did take some modifications to get everything here. It wasn't a plug-and-play thing. You got to use your imagination of what is going to go where. As you can see, I have a brace that I'm missing here because I don't like how I made this right here. So I'm going to go to the hobby shop probably tomorrow and find a longer servo saver arm, whichever way you want to call it. I need it a little bit longer so I can put the spring onto this so there's a return and a pushback on the throttle body, so it goes back. Right now it's kind of stiff this way. This will go over here, but I'll fix that and go from there. So to the engine, I know you guys saw the LRP engine. This was a couple trial and error to get this thing to work. So what I ended up doing, I bought some motor mounts. It didn't fit. The engine was hitting the inside of the pulley that goes from here to the front diff, and it did not fit. And I couldn't really figure out why. And I was like, this engine needs to be lifted up and pushed forward. You can see on that mount how far forward it is and how much higher. I don't have the other mounts right now, but I was like that, and I was trying to find something to hold the flywheel. I had to go through a couple flywheels to find the right one for this, and I did, because the engine, of course, doesn't come with the flywheel and the flywheel nut, which the local hobby shop just didn't have the nut for that. Again, this is a whole hybrid setup, and so I ordered another flywheel for an OFNA off eBay. The flywheel didn't work, but the nut did work. Clutches in there, so all of that is working really well. And then I ended up looking at this car, and this car, I looked at the motor mount that it needed, and I saw the motor mount. I knew exactly what type of motor mount I needed, so I looked at this car and found out what it needed. It was an adjustable motor mount, and that's what it was. So I looked up OFNA motor mounts, and boom, there was one on eBay right there for sale. As soon as I got it, it fit perfect. Well, I'm sorry, it didn't fit perfect. Since this is a stock chassis, it only comes with 2 holes for their motor mounts, 4 holes altogether. If I bought an aftermarket chassis, which is really rare, they would have came with 3 holes for these type of motor mounts to change the engines, so not basic 12s or 15s or the factory engine. So what I ended up doing, I had to drill 2 more holes further out this way. I measured it and it worked out really well. As you can see how far this engine is in there. She is in there pretty deep all the way through. So so again, it worked out. Just took some time, some thinking of how to fit this engine in there, and now she's all in there. She's pretty good, so we'll find out how it goes. You can see the header and the exhaust. Modified my own little exhaust bracket there from a hanger, and a couple other things. I think there's more I did to it, but you know, I cleaned out the gas tank. It was disgusting. I put new fuel lines, of course, it needed it, with the fuel filter, turbo glow plug. I ended up getting a turbo glow plug, a number 4 for this engine, and it just didn't work. Well, it worked. The engine turned on, but I really looked up which one it needed. Ended up getting too hot of a glow plug, so I did find 2 OS plugs online, and they need a 7s in here. So those are coming in. Once I get those in, I'll try to do a proper break-in with the engine. As you can see, I was trying to break it in and it just turns off, but we'll get that going. But this thing is going to rip. I know it's going to be a competition. It's going to give some people, and supposedly it's a small block. I mean, it's only a 12. It's a 12, but it's a pretty big 12. I mean, LRP makes some crazy engines. Hopefully it lasts long. I can tune it really well, because I don't think they're in business anymore either. So yeah, that's about it. I'm waiting for one more thing. Of course, like I said, the battery meter, that's about it. I'm going to fix the throttle linkage and another body that I have waiting that's getting modified to put on. So I got one more thing that's coming in for the rear suspension to help out. I still have to, I did refill those shocks. I need to refill these, but here it is right here. She looks pretty sweet. You know, hopefully 2020, I joined a couple competitions out there and see some events, practice, and I found a couple spots. We'll do some test runs on the next video or the break-in, and then see how it goes. So hope you guys like the car. I'll keep you updated and let you know what else I got going on. I have 2 other cars that I did buy super cheap. These one is a gas powered, one's electric, so I'll keep you up to date. That'll be on another video. I'll do that. 2020 is around the corner, so no really any car shows or events going on right now besides this going on. So figure I'd just fill in the content with some RC cars and see how it goes, and gain some new subscribers that are into this. And if you guys like what you see, and subscribe, let me know. Bye.